My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review of Barbie. And it's insane just how huge this movie has become. The showtimes in my city are selling out all weekend long. Everybody was dressed up tonight, wearing pink. It's just this event film now, and it caught me completely off guard. Truly. But is the movie good? That's the question, and it's not. It's certainly not. And the critical acclaim behind this movie is just baffling because, well, I'll get to it. But let's begin with the cast. And Margot Robbie is an actress I'm very hit or miss with. I thought she was brilliant in Babylon last year, but she's very bad in this movie. She does not do a good job carrying it. She has very little personality, and I just found her to be bland. Then you've got Ryan Gosling, and everybody is saying that he should be nominated for this performance. And he is the best part of this movie. His storyline is the best part of this movie. But it's not an Oscar worthy performance. He's funny, he's having fun with it. That's as positive as I can get. It's not a comedic performance to the level of Leslie Nielsen in Airplane or so many other great comedic performances. He's funny, he's entertaining, and that's perfectly fine. Then you've got America Ferrera, and I thought she was also pretty bad, if I'm being honest. Um, there was one scene, and you know what? I'll get to that scene later. Issa Rae, I thought was very flat. Kate McKinnon was very annoying. Harry Naff, he was bad. Samuel Liu, I actually thought had a few funny moments here. And same as Kingsley Ben-Adir. He had a few funny moments as well. Michael Cera was perfectly fine, and Will Ferrell was Will Ferrell. So it's pretty funny that all of the best performances in this movie come from the dudes, but that's the way it played out. Then we get to the directing by Greta Gerwig, and look, at a technical level, I thought she did a really great job. The production design in this movie is fantastic. Barbie Land is brought to life so perfectly, and I loved the costumes and just what she was able to bring to this movie on a visual level was really impressive. There's one scene near the end where I'm like, wow, she's just embracing the insanity of this movie, which I really dug. And there are some very weird, goofy moments, like one scene where Margot Robbie is getting chased by Mattel, and I'm like, okay, it's kind of like a Scooby-Doo chase. I kind of like this. But then there's also the sense that this movie is just a mess when it comes to the structure and pacing. And that's mainly due to the story, so let's just get into it. This movie is an absolute disaster script-wise. This movie is trying to do so much, and it just loses sight of absolutely everything. There's a story here about a mother and daughter bonding. There's a story here about corporate greed. There's a story here about Barbie becoming more human. There's a storyline involving Ken and the patriarchy. And it's just too much that not a single one of these stories is given the attention it deserves. It just feels like the movie's about this, and then the movie's about this, and then the movie's about this, and then the movie's about this. It is not a cohesive movie in any way, and it does affect the pacing. This movie is an hour and 52 minutes, I think. It felt longer than Oppenheimer, which is 3 hours long. The pacing in this movie is atrocious. The last half hour, I was checking the time almost non-stop. I'm like, it has to be ending soon. Like, just a disaster on that level. The movie also is really, really silly, and the movie tries to be more than that, but whenever it does, it falls flat. And I don't know, the movie was just really off tonally for me because the entire foundation of this movie is an over the top Ken is trying to get the attention of an over the top Barbie in this over the top land, and there was nothing to really ground this movie in genuine emotion. So when they really go for it in the last 5 minutes of this movie, just none of it worked. In fact, I found it very hard to engage this movie on any level because of that. And like, the movie is a comedy, and my theater laughed. I had a few chuckles here and there, mainly from Ken, but that's about it. It's a very unfunny comedy. And I should mention that I don't even get the purpose of Will Ferrell's character. I get it, corporate greed, and a bunch of white dudes are coming up with these ideas for dolls, but it just felt so unneeded in this actual storyline. And you know what? Let's just address the elephant in the room. This movie is preachy as hell. It really is. The first two acts are tolerable. There's, of course, mentions of the patriarchy. The movie is very feminist at its core. And the first two acts, I didn't have an issue with it. The last act, you just crossed the line. It was way too preachy. There's a scene with America Ferrera where it just felt like the movie came to a complete halt, and what follows after that scene was just very cringeworthy to me. And I don't think it explores the main ideas of like gender and the patriarchy and all that in a very honest way. It's very one-sided, and it kind of ends on a very bitter note. Like, we'd get movies in the past where these people don't like these people, and they have to learn to work together. This movie doesn't do that, and that's all I'll say, but it really doesn't sit right with me. And I do think this movie actually thinks it's much smarter than it actually is. Like, this is the case of the movie having its own head up its own ass. Like, it's not this super important, urgent movie that it's making itself out to be, and it's just trying to tackle all these stories and ideas, and it's just very surface level. Nothing gets the attention it deserves. It's very, now it's about this, then this, then this, then this, then this. It's just got scattered pacing all over the place. The pacing definitely drags in the last act. Most of the cast I thought was very underwhelming, especially Margot Robbie. And even though I think there is some great production design and it does have its moments here and there, this is just a very flat, boring, forgettable movie that I will never watch again, so I'll give Barbie a 3 out of 10. I'm sorry, it's all subjective, but the love behind this movie, the critical acclaim, the people giving it a 10 out of 10, it's just baffling to me. But have you seen Barbie? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin, out.